It's about creating great products.
Deal with and cope with failure. Ideas of everything.
Entrepreneurship is about taking risk.
Digital, it is the future.
Passion, enthusiasm and creativity, it's the key thing.
Darren, you've just delivered your Brand Yourself Masterclass, which I have to say I found very, very intriguing. Can everyone brand themselves?
Yes, definitely.
You seem fairly certain on that.
You need to know your business, and I think that's true of any, not just actors, anybody in any business, but actors are very bad for turning up and not understanding their business. They don't know who people are, they don't know what people do. They'll go onto a set and somebody will say, right, I'm the grip, and you're like, oh right, what do you do? You know your business. Oh, you know, you'll go to a networking gig and you'll say, oh, there's Marilyn Johnson's over there, who's that? Know your business, know who's who, so that when you get the opportunity to go and meet people, you know who they are and you've got something to talk to them about. Okay, I think that's really important. And some actors, there's an actor called Jodie Latham. I don't know if you've ever worked with Jodie.
I don't think so.
Okay, well Jodie Latham for a while dominated the Scally market, the Manchester Scally market, and he played the abusive boyfriend in EastEnders. In that storyline where he was prostituting Tiffany, I think it was, right? That's Jodie Latham. Now, Jodie is an encyclopedia of the industry. If you ever talk to Jodie, he knows everybody, he knows everything that's going on. And that's how he's built his career, because he's always aware of what's happening where and who everybody is, and he'll be able to talk to them about somebody that he's worked with, that they've worked with, or a project that they've done, and immediately be able to strike up a conversation. That is such a useful thing to have in your disposal. It's powerful, that.
But you know, I can't help thinking, I mean, a lot of what you spoke about was actors and people who work in you know, that kind of space.
Yeah.
And obviously a certain amount of the work they get kind of defines their brand, whether they choose it or not. I mean, is a lot of it something we can control?
I think so, and in response to that, obviously when you're an artist, it's a very individual thing. But we've been working a lot, my company's been working a lot with corporate companies and people that work in the corporate areas maybe that have been working in the public sector that have now been made redundant, and they've been brought up in an environment where for 20 years they've been told you are part of an assimilated force, if you like the Borg almost, and they've been coached into this mentality of we do this and we do that and whatever, and now suddenly they're going back into the marketplace, and they've been so used to sort of churning out these we statements that when you ask them to talk about themselves, it's destabilising. So the work that I've been doing has been helping those people in that sector rediscover those individual qualities that make them appealing in the workforce and in the workspace, so that they can make themselves more saleable.
And how important is that to success, do you think?
Vital, because individuals, when you hire somebody, you're hiring them, and a lot of companies now are looking outside of the usual tick box sort of multiple choice kind of way of assessing somebody's suitability for a role, avoiding the obvious CV route, because people use a lot of generic statements on CVs. I'm very hardworking, I'm very committed, I'm very focused, I'm very determined, you know.
You network, you get yourself out there. Sometimes, like I say, as I said, mentioned with that date, it's shameless networking sometimes, and it's cringe and it's embarrassing. But if you get a job out of it, you know what? For that 5 seconds you're cringing, it's sometimes worth it. It changes each year passes, like I don't do as much networking now, or you know what not to do. So the more mistakes you make, it's like, well, I won't do that again. I won't approach him like that again. I won't call them because they're going to be off with me, so I won't set myself up for that disappointment. So it's just about being receptive and raising the bar each year, developing and progressing rather than you know, getting your hands burnt twice.
Having a strong sense of where you are as well, just feeding onto that in your journey, you know, because having a career is a journey, you know. You've got, and you should have a sense of what your destination is, your ultimate goal, and then have a sense of where you are along that journey as you progress. And sometimes, you know, if I say, right, I needed this morning to get up and come to London, right? So I know I've got to go to Piccadilly Station in Manchester, get the train to London Euston, get the tube here, right? And I've got a clear sense of my journey, okay? And in your career, there should be that clear sense as well. The difference being that, you know, sometimes you veer off. You know, sometimes you'll find that you get sidetracked by something will pull you off in a different direction. So my career objective is to end up directing films. That's my career objective. But at some point after getting my degree, I ended up teaching. And for a while, teaching dominated 6 years of my life to the point where I didn't have time to do anything else. And at that point, I'm thinking to myself, right, initially it was benefiting me financially and in terms of my personal development, because I learnt a lot through teaching. You do. If you teach people things, you learn an awful lot. But at some point I was just delivering the same thing over and over again, and therefore the benefit was gone. So at that point it becomes a dead end, and you have to then get back on track.
So how do you brand yourself? I mean, obviously we haven't got, you know, hours.
No.
I mean, how do you distill that in like a couple of sentences?
You celebrate your individuality, what makes you you. Your principles, your ideals, your desires, your passions.
So it's not your blonde hair, your long legs, your big chest.
No.
It's
they're
innate
aesthetic
qualities.
what makes
Okay.
you, but it's
Everything
about
I've
your
got,
mentality.
obviously.
Well, absolutely, you're a very sexy man. So,
Big
it's
chest.
about where are you going to sell? Where are you going to be performing? What kind of productions are you going to get involved in? Okay, your ethnicity is significant. Your accent is significant. Think about it positively as a tool to help you sell rather than a negative. Lots of people that have a strong accent. I have worked with an Italian actor in Manchester, and he often thinks that his Italian accent is a stumbling block, and I've had to turn his mentality around so that he started to think of it as a selling point and something that he needs to promote, and that's opened up a whole eon of opportunities that he wasn't conscious of because he wasn't thinking about that from a positive perspective. So think about the facets and qualities that you have, and then think about where is best to sell them. It is about what makes you, what gives you the personality that you have, what gives you the desires, the passions, the interests that you have.